I make a lot of content in all formats. While loathing the phrase content creator, I am, however, a creative. It started years ago as a musician, playing in bands and writing songs, recording albums and selling them at gigs, promoting the events, and networking with venue managers as well as booking agents. Learning how to use audio production technology for live music and studio work is similar to video production software in terms of nonlinear editing, which is comparable conceptually to how editorial work functions on word processors or the web. Without getting too deep into this line of thinking, let me pull back and clearly state this article is about converting ideas from one kind of media into any other format, which is addressed through the lens of personal branding in my video course and workbook. So let's get started with the process. The first thing you have to figure out is what you want to say. I have 3 primary projects in a constant rotation of evolution and promotion. They include Chicago 1893, Exploring Our National Parks, and How to Create a Personal Brand in 10 Steps. A few years back, I decided to launch these as vehicles to extend my ideas and create something against my own name that exists adjacent to my business work. It can be hard to figure out where to start, but I'm sure you have some hobbies or interests that would translate into compelling content development projects if you spend a little time thinking and assessing your passions to evaluate which are worth pursuing with more thoughtful depth. This will inform your posture regarding the material you create. The next step is choosing how to say it, meaning what form should the message take? Are you comfortable at the keyboard, behind a microphone, or in front of the camera? Start with what you have and make it easy on yourself. If writing is a tough process for you, but speaking off the cuff comes naturally, consider a podcast or social audio platform like Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces. Or if you are attempting to highlight your looks, products, or experiences, then a camera or cell phone video might be the best option. Over the years, my voice has gotten a lot of attention, so I'm happy to use it for video voiceover as well as podcasting or other audio. Whatever you choose, start by outlining a few ideas to build your editorial, audio, or videographic media. Even this article started with a working title, which was originally just multi-format content development, and 3 section headers that were built up into fleshed out concepts over the course of a week to become the points you're reading today. Let's talk transformation. We're going to consider how to convert one piece of media into a new form. Most often, I start with editorial and then progress to video, but in the past, I have streamed live video broadcasts that were stripped down to audio-only podcasts for further distribution. It really depends on your strengths, weaknesses, and preferred workflow. These are just some of the tactics I've used over the years. You might want to experiment with different angles to find out which are most comfortable for you. Another thing to factor in is where you have an audience. I recommend leveraging the traction you already have to amplify your reach. Particularly interested community members and friends will follow you on multiple platforms as you get started because they want to support or absorb more of what you have to offer. Years ago, I was heavy into Facebook, but their platform changes drove me away. Then I leaned into Twitter strongly for the last handful of years, but now the changes being implemented there are making me branch out. At the beginning of 2022, I decided to begin pushing more personal video and audio branded around my own name in coordination with channels I started years ago, as well as my personal projects. Using YouTube for video or podcasts for conversation has made the process more work, but it's also allowed me to leverage the platform benefits in ways that using Twitter as a catch-all was no longer facilitating my needs after deprecating Periscope. Let us address distribution. Obviously, this point is fairly meta. After all, my Substack is fundamentally content about content. However, to round out my points here without being overly salesy, I am working on a fictional short story that will be an audiobook exclusive, which is to say, I don't think it really matters which path you are on in regards to writing. If you are promoting business or being more imaginative, the effort and mechanics will be the same. You will need to structure your words, whether on camera, the microphone, or on a word processor. Building an audience is valuable for any number of reasons, and some people will tell you to focus on one or only a few outlets to start, but I'm not sure that is the way to go at the beginning. I think you should seek to release your material as broadly as possible, utilizing as many different formats as possible to test the returns and your level of comfort with each format. In time, you can draw back on your methods, dialing in on the ones that are working the best for you once some data has come into play. It's worth noting that what may not seem to be working well might be just a matter of how long you have decided to stick it out.